This is definitely Yerushalmi Ma'asros. In the article, but addition, we're 3 lines down on New Testament Aleph. Daesh Ma Daesh Miuchad, also known as the Gemara Malachto, which is in the Vilna on Daf Yural from Ralph. 6 lines bound. Daesh Ma Daesh Miuchad, also Nigmar Malachto. And our learning should be a school for Yeshua, for Am Yisrael, in our ongoing war with our enemies in Mount Shemon Zichra. So tomorrow we're talking about what a poil can eat and not eat, and we're basing it on the parallel to Los Saxon Zerbadisha. So Ma Daish is Amyucha Davshlo no Marmachto. It's language is not Nigmar Malachto. Even though it's Tolush, of course, it has to still be not Nigmar Malachto. Kol Davshlo Nigmar Malachto. So to everything that's not Nigmar Malachto, it's a Boda B'Tmar. This will exclude somebody who's separating dates which are pressed together. But for big rogros, the same thing. We're doing the similar thing with pressed figs. Vayim mishvikva and wine after the refuse floating on top has been removed, which is Gemara Malacha. And now you're moving the wine from the bore into the barrels. Shemi Shaluk on the oil once it's gone down into the hole where it goes in front of the press. And again, I guess you're putting the barrels. All these cases the oil can't eat. The Kamroki says Tanya Daish Ma. I assume it's not in the Vilna. Daish Ma Daish Michachula Bali Zikas Maestros. It's not some come to Chiyuv of Trumasu Maestros. And Zikas Maestros. So anything which is not Chaim in Maestros yet. Now here we're talking not really about Maestros, we're talking about Chala. So once it comes Chayiv and Chala, so then there's no eating anymore. And this is Yotz HaLosh Hamakate Fa'oife. So this is exclude somebody who is kneading or cutting a piece from the dough in order to make it into a piece of bread, and the baker. So the obvious question is that Chalal Lichera comes after already several Ma'asros beforehand. I guess theoretically, if that person didn't take up Trumas and Ma'asros yet, and for some reason he's only going to take it off the finished bread. In fact, it becomes Chayav and Chalal already makes it Kamar Malacha, and therefore you in terms of Ma'asros, and therefore you would not be able to eat anymore. Tanya, kitavo kamas riecha. If you go into your again, I don't know how it's kitavo kamas riecha with the Tanya, but no, this is ksiv. Okay, kitavo kamas riecha. Yochel b'shar kol adam kosim medaber. Is that about any Tom, Dick, or Harry? And he no, Tom Loimar. V'chermesh lo tanif al kamas riecha. This is same pasuk in Dvarim Chav Gimel Chav Vav, and it says that you should not lift up a scythe against your friend. So the so it says as sheyesh l'rishus about somebody who has permission to actually lift up a scythe because he's harvesting. He shouldn't take the food by harvesting it with a scythe. You can only take the food by hand and pluck it by hand. But he says a poem. I'm talking about a worker, but the worker is only allowed to pluck, not to harvest with a scythe. Easy ben Yomer b'sharko adam. Yisrael ben Yehuda says that we're talking about every person. What is it? So what is it? It comes to tell us mikan she'ein lo reshus lechol el b'shas hanofas mago. So the any person can eat at the time that the scythe is being wielded. And the reason for this is a pretty amazing thing that he was saying. He's saying that at the time of the harvest, anybody can come eat because this is a quote from the Kavanaki, Das Baal Hasada Zachos Mecholov in a Makpid. The Baal Bayis is the happy that he's harvesting and he doesn't care if anybody else comes and eats, like Kol Dichvin Yeseh B'Yecho. So then the Rashi brings them from the Bavli in Bab Mitzia Daf Tzai Beis that says there that Terapalim is quote from Rashi Porich Lo Shavak as Lo Shavak Isichai Chobiria. He's not leaving any food over for anybody his harvest over. So Mukila Basudasan the Avde V'Achli. It's evidently according to the Bavli, it's talking about that those people are assisting in the work and therefore they're allowed to eat. But the Yerushalmi seems not to have a problem with it. The Yerushalmi seems to say quite silly, no, according to Isi, anybody can eat whether they're working or not working, which is a pretty fascinating thing. If the Gra anybody says anything here. Let's see what the article says anything. Article says no, not much. Okay. Okay, so it says go further. Again, we have a time here. The Shema Yechai Omer Ad Heichon Kotar Begezel. How particular story was about theft. That you're even though you're allowed to wield a scythe, you're not allowed to do it on you in order to take the food, which actually the Torah is allocating to you. You still have to pluck with your hands. I heard that it says that you have to justify between man and his friend. Actually, enough is my goal. To the point that you, even in a minor way, you can't lift up a scythe in order to get your food from your friend's harvest at the time you're allowed to eat it. So it says here, Doch chain, when the I don't know which the Rashi takes out. Gedolah Malacha. Shalo Shalochar Dharmal Shaloha Yuasim enough Lubegezel. Malacha is very great, and the Dharmal was not doing it, and therefore, since they knew Malacha, I guess they didn't have to Malacha, everything was still good and more plenty, so therefore they became Shatuf and Gezel. So it's not because they needed that they stole, because they weren't doing Malacha, so they got they cheapened the entire idea of private property, I guess, for them. And and yet at the same time, a poel can do his work, and then the ochel he can eat from the Baal Bayis, and it's and platim in gezel, he's exempt from gezel. So Gdol Malacha, that even that which you consider, but it diminishes the issue of gezel, it takes the issue of gezel. Malacha justifies kaviyachol, not really, but it justifies gezel to in a in a similar way to what should be aser. The Kavanaki brings down here that in the Dorim and Tesla and Beis, Shimon says Gdol Malacha shemechaberes is ba'aleh. And because of Shimon Shimon says Gdol Malacha should feel kain gal nichas Yom Kippurim shlo b'shas avoda chayv misa b'shas avoda, which is the time of Malacha. Not only he, the Kohen Gadol, but Tmeim Uban Mumin Mutram Mikonis. So the Kavaraki asked a very basic question. So it's Archian, because Rabbi Shimon is one of the arguments of Rabbi Shmuel in interpreting the pasuk of Lo Yom Shtaras. That's me. He said in Brachas Daf Lamed Hey, Efshar Adam Chorish B'Shtash Charisha B'Chulei Tarmat Hayalel B'Zman Shisol Sim Tzon Shemakam Lachem Nasa Saydei Acherim. So it sounds like he's not a big proponent of malacha. He wants us to do it. So the Maratz Chius evidently asks this question, and as goes to Dolim, doesn't answer it. The Stei Chemed asks him the brachas, and now Shimon Chai says in Menachos. It says, I feel low crow in Daf Tzadik Tes. I feel low crow clear Shema Shachris Arvis Kim Lo Yomosh Sefer turns Emi Picha. So you don't have to be also constantly. So he answered that the Sechem answers this before Hab Mekama Basko Hab Besar Basko. Because after when Shimon Chai came out the first time from the cave, and he heard the Basko says Lachriva Lomi, it's awesome. When they look at the people doing work and they're askance. So Chizum Raschem Hashem said, go back to your cave. Then Niskara Daito, and they reneged on the original Svara. That's so he explains also that which would be the Gemara Nedarim, and that would apply here also to Mechil to the Rishon Bar Yochai. So if I say that before the Basko, after Basko, before Basko, Rishon Bar Yochai was not a big fan of Malacha. After the Basko, Rishon Bar Yochai became a much bigger fan of Malacha because Basko said, this is the way the world is supposed to work. Of course, one can give other answers to that contradiction, but Kavanaki, which was written by two, I think it was this. I'm not sure which one actually. This one was written with this volume, but the original volume was done by Rabbi Levi and Aryeh Carmel, both strong believers in Turim Derech Eretz. This is done by, same ones, Aryeh Carmel and Rabbi Levi. Okay, so says the Gemara further. Losafsim Shor says don't muzzle an ox when he's threshing. Which is again these two psukim, which teaches about the different achilos of the shore and of the adam. One in the Dvarim Chav Hey Dal, the Dvarim Chav Gimel Chav Hey. Akol Shemai L'Shor B'Tolush. Until now, we only heard of a shore eating B'Tolush when he's being dash. V'adam Mechubar. And Adam eat from Mechubar. It's when he's being Tolish from Mechubar, but when he's it's being working on the Mechubar. Adam Maush Yochal B'Tolush. What about a person? What about the man can eat when it's Tolish? Ma'im Shosha in Ochel B'Mechubar. If a shor does not eat B'Mechubar, Harei Ochel B'Tolish, he does eat B'Tolish. Adam Shu Ochel Mechubar, a man who does eat Mechubar, and he should not be able to eat by Tolish. Tamlo Lo Sachsum Shor B'Disho. Says don't muzzle an ox. So Shor Lo Sachsum, allowed to muzzle an ox. Vein Adam Lo Sachsum, a person can be muzzled. So the teacher says when you're dealing with stuff which is Tolish, you're allowed to curtail your worker from eating. So this Madamra holds a worker does not eat B'Tolish. Shor Maush Yochel Mechubar. Can ox eat when he's working with Mechubar, like when he's drawing not the plow. Well, I guess the plow might be useful there too. Anyway, the umadam she'enochel b'tolish ochel mechubar. Person does not eat b'tolish. He mechubar shoshu ochel b'tolish. A shor which can eat when he b'tolish and dim she'ochel mechubar. He is not kavkom she'eat by mechubar. Oh, ma kam below tachsom, av kam below tachsom, or and perhaps there's another way of saying this, which is that maybe lo tachsom is a universal. There's no tachsom, and don't muzzle an ox anytime. No, it's only by the threshing. Yeah, but disho have to chosmo. By the way, again, there might be variations, the kind of version of Kavanaki and the Vilna edition. I apologize for that, but just realized there might actually be an issue here. But in any event, Bedisho ain't at choso at the chosmo chosemo at b'mechubar lekarka. So the Mikan Omru, from here they said that from that which it says in that Ocha Torah is potter. The Torah is mizakim permission to eat. It's not part of his salary that it should be like a kini or mekach, and therefore he can't make a stipulation. So as he saw in the Mishnah for ketanim, which don't have das, and as we shall see momentarily. So mikan omer kotzadam aide atzmo. Person can make this agreement for himself to curtail his eating till a certain amount of time and get money for it instead, additional salary. For himself, and also by his children who are adults. By the after and also for his servants who are adults. By the Ishan and also for his wife. By the das, because they have consent. They have das to have consent for this. But he can't do this. Not for his son and daughter who are minors. They have the shchos where his servants are minors. Nor eat for his animal. So they can't be Michael. There's chus to the husband/father/owner. Now the Gemara asks a question. Even the Torah allows him to eat without trumas and maasros. So why is not chayav and maasros by midrabanan like any other kinyan where it requires something? Lo tzricha ochem min Torah lo tzricha ochem min Torah yechayav. So that is kind of saying this is difficult for us, right? Lo tzricha like ela tzricha, but the following is a question for us, right? So even though it's a Torah, you should still be chayav. Rabbi Yana said that Torah pater also. The Torah exempted. It says so, and we know there's a principle of Chomir never make a takana against a mikra mefurash. So therefore, here they wouldn't make a takana to deprive him of the of his capacity to eat and require him to take it without taking up troops and maasros. Let's see, there's a tikkun girsa which might make it a little bit better. Here it says here. No, not really. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, then we have next by the Mishnah, which goes on to if you're eating by, if you're able to eat by, you have to stick to the type of fig, the type of meat which you're working on, and not switch meaning. So on that, the Gemara says, Tamatininon. Okay, Tamatininon is actually in the. Let's go further. Tamatininon. He also became was working figs. He's not eating grapes. And grapes not eating figs. Tani lo learn concerning this Gemara Mishnah B'Metzia. It's not gone base. But Tani lo concerning this. Also be Yichur is working on this branch. Lo eat another branch. Utina, we learned also Osa Belufstin. He was working in the what our Mishnah called Lavasim, the inferior grapes, inferior dates, figs, right? Yeah, inferior figs. Lo yacha b'bno sheba. The superior figs, and vice versa. Lachein tzvicha, and the chiddush is afilu heishtem b'yichur. What's the chiddush? The different branches. No, afilu b'yichur echas, even the same branch, which the Kavanaki says here is talking about where such as where you made a graft, and the made the graft, one type of fig, another graft, one type of fig on top, another graft. So now you have the same branch growing two types of figs. You still can't take from one instead of the other. No, what you're working on the moment on that branch is what you can take from, not what's the other, even the same branch, something else. Tanya, we learn Kisabo Kamreacha, Yocho B'Sharko Adam Akosim B'Daber. So again, like we saw earlier today about EC saying that it can be a person. So I guess EC is not appearing here. This here the Gemara says Yocho B'Sharko Adam Akosim B'Daber Tamalo Rekechol Lo Tite. You can't put into your own into your own vessels, meaning the worker can put it into stockpile and take it home with him. But it's about the case where you are allowed to and you are hired for putting into Kevshel Chavero. And who's that? Is Poel? It's talking about the worker, obviously, who who's putting it to the Ba'abais, obviously he's allowed to take, but saying you're allowed to for yourself to eat, but don't harvest it, so to speak. Put in your keli and bring it home. And that brings us to the bottom of your testament base. So we'll stop here for today.